Hi, it's Kelly.
And I'm Danny.
Welcome back to the ProCreatives podcast for moms who make things. The podcast for moms and future moms who are navigating their creative careers as they raise their little inspirations. Today, an extension of our conversation with Charlene Polite-Corley. We really had an amazing conversation with her, and we also got to talk a little bit with her about navigating breastfeeding as a working mom. Get into this conversation, and thank you for listening.
Yeah. Are you nursing? Are you breastfeeding? And how have you had to navigate that on the job? Are you going into the office?
How much time do we really have? Because
we're about to be overtime.
I'm so sorry that I got a whole other. We didn't even get into breastfeeding, child. That's a whole other legit because I did not understand how hard breastfeeding is.
How Did much you breastfeed with the first one?
I breastfed with both.
Okay.
But I also was a scheduled C-section for both of my children. Okay. I had gestational diabetes and like I said, health complications and whatever. What I did not know was when they schedule you, usually a week before you would have gone into labor, your milk supply has not come in. So my son dropped an exorbitant amount of his birth weight at his 5-day checkup. And my mom guilt is attached to I almost killed my baby because I thought I was breastfeeding and I wasn't. But Instagram had me thinking like, oh, this is so easy. You just put them up here and you pose for the picture, girl, and it's cool. And I can do it anywhere now. It ain't even about that. It was about like, thank God for lactation nurses. Thank God
bless them.
For lactation consultants and advocates, because I had no clue. I'm so sorry to go over time, but like
that's okay. We're here for it.
We had to supplement from day 5 on until my milk supply came in, and thereafter, because I was like, my baby will never be hungry again. Like he
will neither hunger nor thirst.
Me nor none of my folk. Like it was just I had no clue. None. All my mom could tell me was like, if you breastfeed for a couple of hours, they're good. Like you don't need to be worried with all that stuff. Again, wasn't an option for her. Paid maternity leave. What you talking about? Like I was at work when I went into labor. We had the baby. I went back to like there was no options. So of course, like thinking about like my breastfeeding strategy and stuff, she didn't have that option.
Right.
So there wasn't anything she could tell me that didn't feel like really, really big judgment, because hormones and all that stuff. But Mama was right. Like that baby's hungry. That baby crying because he's hungry. You need to give him some formula. You need to give him something because I was like, no, I got it. And sure enough, we got there and I did not have it, girl. So this time around, immediately when Zuri was born, we were like in the hospital, nurses like, no, get that baby some formula because it's a C-section. I don't know if my milk, I don't know when it's coming, but she gonna eat. So it was a little bit better this time around. And I was like, I have the tools. I'm going to be able to do it. And at 4.5 months, she was done with me.
Wow.
And it broke my heart. It broke my heart. I'm still processing.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So homegirl has 2 teeth.
They growing so fast.
So fast.
These new babies.
She grabbed the spoon out of my hand when I was eating some stuff. This is 4 months in. So I was like, they're supposed to wait until 6 months, but we went for the checkup. The doctor was like, go ahead and get that baby some food. Like,
potatoes.
She's hungry.
She's hungry. And so like my milk supply has never really been great, but like with my first one, just to talk about the at work experience, I got my insurance covered the medical grade pump. Like I had, not permission, but like support to be like, all right, whatever you need to do, like let's not talk about it anymore, but like go do what you need to do. And because I was working, even back then I was still working hybrid, so I could, from working from home, really stick to a schedule. So again, very privileged to have been in that position. And so this time around, same thing. Like I thought I had all the tools and she was not with it. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to keep pumping, but without her, my supply was like, girl. So I thought, like, when I go back to work, maybe I'll actually have my hands free, then I can really pump and get a supply up and whatever. And it just it worked out so differently than I thought, because my goal was like at least 6 months I wanted to breastfeed. And she was like, I'm hungry. And I know that formula bottle over there gonna have a good 6 ounces. So love you, but I'm done.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Little Miss Zoom in Missouri, she on her own path. That's what she's like, karma. She know everything.
Wow.
You know
better than mama.
They do come out like if they know. So
they know.
It's all right though. We just have to, it keeps us on our toes. Okay.
It keeps me humble, keeps me on my toes. And so I have so many thoughts about fed baby is best.
Yes.
What I was the social media perspective of what I had me thinking, I'm like, this is gonna be simple. Like, this is, I mean, I've been lugging these boobs around all my life to feed these children. Like, this is your moment. And it was not. It was not.
Listen, it is incredible, because you talk about social media. And when I had my first kid, there was like breastfeeding shaming that was going on when I had my first kid. And now it's like,
whip it out.
Like be on the park bench and like feed your baby. Like, girl, it is not that simple. It is not. First of all,
it was hard.
And it's hard.
And it's hard.
Talk about, God bless lactation consultants. I promise I'm gonna stop talking, but like this, I didn't even get into it. But the first thing I did when I got to her, the first thing she did was like prop up all these pillows and like position, like it's not just to put the baby to breast and they will feed. It is work. It is, you got to figure out what that baby wants, what works for your body. Like she had me like
it's a learning experience.
And it's a whole learning experience. It's a very natural experience, but it is work and learned experience. And so I really want more authentic representation conversation around that. And again, going back to media and advertising. I don't know if you all follow Ashley Graham. She's like a plus size.
Oh, yes.
And so recently she did a brand partnership with Bobby, which is like this new formula that's being advertised online. So I saw this ad come up and she was talking about with her twins, she wanted to breastfeed, she could not keep up. And so she turned to this brand of formula to like help supplement and feed her kids. And she was like, and so now she's just an advocate for feed your babies, feed them well, do what you need to do to help you and them and whatever. And it like moved me. And I recently, through a work event, had an opportunity to meet her.
You felt
so we were at this
seen.
fundraiser gala, and here we are at the women's bathroom where all the action happens. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for your Bobby ad. And she was like, oh, like we had like a whole moment, girl. We took a selfie. But like I really got to thank her to be like, that ad is so, like that perspective is just so important, it's so needed, because like, you know, I had no clue. I thought again, the theme, I thought I was enough. And it takes a team. It takes your village. It takes the doula. It takes the lactation. Like the chances that you got it all worked out and figured out are slim. That's the moral of the story.
And it also takes not judgment, because like I was saying, I was shamed for breastfeeding by other women. And now, you know, some people were shamed because they decided not to breastfeed.
Correct.
To use formula. And it's like, fed is best, just like you said. That baby needs to eat, the baby needs food. There's so many complications, you know, that people are experiencing. The pregnancy is not a walk in the park. Birth is not postpartum. It's not a walk in the park.
For everybody.
And it's different for everyone. And it really feels bad when you're shaming someone for something that is, I mean, God made the breast and he also made the person who created the formula. Okay.
Hello. And that's why I have to be very transparent about like, this is a process and I'm unlearning a lot of conditioning. So a lot of my conditioning, especially as, like I said, a full-chested woman, was like, oh my, you need to be buttoned up to here. Okay. So the thought of me like breastfeeding in public was like terrifying. Now you need to whip something out to feed your baby, do your thing, honey. because we all like, well, why does that bother you? Let's explore.
Yes.
Why? Well, my husband, why does that bother him?
Yeah.
Why is he can't see a baby?
Why is he worried about it? Like,
but they don't have a problem.
Think about why it bothers you. Like, truly process.
Because he can't do it. Because he wanted to feed. He wanted.
Right.
No, I think it's even we're going on a way tangent.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna let y'all go.
But
it's over sexualization. It's
correct.
That's it. Yeah. Period.
That's it.
So think about why that bothers you.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, like, it comes from a place of like, you know, of trauma. It's not safe for me to do that. And so I had to process my trauma of like, oh, I'm gonna be modest, period.
Right.
Because from a place of trauma, I won't, that's for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But what you doing over there? You feeding your baby? Fantastic. Good job, mama. But we also have to check ourselves at like women's role in the patriarchy, Black women's role in the mess, my personal role in the judgment. It happens. See it, acknowledge it, unlearn it.
Yeah.
And that's still the journey I'm on. Is I got to unlearn a whole bunch of stuff, and motherhood gonna be the thing to do it. Like, like, oh, you thought it was cute.
Oh, you thought, and we
come down here in the muck, girl. Like, you thought she was put together. Ooh, girl.
Not, and you not.
You are not. You are so not.
Oh, listen, this was
you can cut any of that into the podcast that you want, because like that is, you can see I'm on a tangent, but like I literally,
That last clip,
we're about,
I love that.
We're about the real talk. You know what I'm saying?
That's
we
real
are
one.
about
so
keeping it real. Yeah, we're about keeping it real. And to your point about the over sexualization, like I think a lot of that is what it was. And then for the most startling, I mean, for a man, it's really easy for me to see that that's what it is. But I was really shocked when Black women in the church, Black women in general, really found breastfeeding to be like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. And I can't believe you're still doing that.
I can't believe you're still doing it. Like my mom, so I ended up breastfeeding my son for 6 months. And my mom was like, you're not done with
yes. Oh, my Lord.
You got to pump on a schedule on that. So again, in giving grace for the generation that they come from. My mom is still from a generation where, you know, when she was a child, she was going to clean white folks' houses. Like the distance from mammy and nursemaid to that generation is not a lot.
Wow.
Is not a lot.
Wow.
You know, my grandmother neglecting her children to take care of these other children. Because I can't be home with you. I have to go try to earn a little bit of something and raise these kids over here. That's not a you know, a long distance. So I'm trying to also give some grace to the past generations. I'm like, why is she so judgmental about me feeding my baby?
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't even an option for her. And it was almost, I think I need to do some more, again, research on this, but I think it was almost like a sign of, not evolution is not the right word, but like we passed all that. Like I got formula. Like we can afford that. My baby is fed. I ain't bothered with all that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it was not a status symbol is not the right word, but like they were leaving that.
I think some of it is. I think some of it is a status symbol because some of my I have friends that are from Africa, and in their culture, even though breastfeeding was a thing that they did, it's a status thing when you feed your baby formula. This is in some African countries, like, oh, my baby gets formula, so you know, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Listen, they got these breasts, and I didn't think my tiny boobies was gonna make this much milk,
and they be the best ones.
And they listen, I did not think it, you know, nobody don't be telling you, like, and my junks went from B cup to double D's, and I was like, what am I feel like I was going to puberty all over again. She knows. I was like trying to hide, and I had to wear medium short. I said, well, no more extra
what is
small.
happening?
I was like, I was just, my brother-in-law came over, and he wasn't rude or anything, but he was shocked because I was like, oh my gosh, the shame.
Oh no.
I felt like my brother's even, I was like, first of all, y'all just, this for the babies, okay?
Right.
But yeah, they got the milk until listen, for a long time, because it was
and
coming.
It's free. Like,
and it's free. Come on, that was it for me. It was free.
Y'all can keep these $50 a week. Like,
come
what?
on. Come on.
So part of me too, like, so now we have that socialization. This is a research project waiting to happen. I just need to like, connect the dots. But like we have the older generation saying, you don't need, don't worry about all that, you go get the formula. But then we're in a new world. So not only like how our options and all these things that we have at our disposal, we are in a broken system. The pandemic broke the supply chain.
Oh, come on now.
Shortage.
I have friends struggling.
Struggling. You don't know what's going to be on the shelf.
No.
You need that good Similac. Girl, Similac is not in any of these stores. Okay.
No,
I don't know where it's at, but I ain't got it. This baby getting Enfamil, whatever is available.
So like, I had people calling out to me and asking me, like people who had money, they were just, I don't have it at my local store. How can I get it quickly?
Shipping it.
So it was just calling, we was talking to everybody.
Girl, and talk about education. And these politicians don't know that you can't just, it's not a faucet. You don't just stop breastfeeding and then just turn the faucet back on.
Yeah.
And then you don't know how traumatizing and heartbreaking it is for you to think I can do that.
Yeah.
Right. I can't feed my baby. That's the craziest thing.
It's terrifying. So I'm like, and now, so I think about the generation of mother who is younger than me, because I'm 38. So like these girls coming up behind me, I'll be like, look, do you know how much money you can save if you can do this? If you have the support to do this, do it.
Yeah.
Even if you just supplement or whatever, like give it a shot, because I think all of the economics of these young Black moms out here, when you got a source, but the socialization is telling you don't fool with that.
Right. Yeah.
Like I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
So even as somebody who struggled to breastfeed, like, let's see what your body can do. You don't know.
Yeah.
And for whatever, of course, feed your child, feed your baby. But I think I hope there's something in there that gets cracked open, because again, especially like you said, the Black community is so against it. And I'm like, the economics, all the benefits. But again, the social structure and support is not there. Everybody don't have the lactation. Everybody don't have the, my job is still going to pay me for the time that I need to go and breastfeed. Right. It's a whole other episode. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a whole other episode, but it's critical.
Yeah, it is.
Ooh, girl. Yeah. As you can see, you touched a nerve, because like,
and because we see it now because we've experienced it, right?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It's people like you and even our past guests who are out there advocating for us. We want to make sure we see accurate representation, and we get some facts to back it up, right?
Yeah. So, and we breastfeeding is still something we have not truly accurately represented.
They sexualize us so hard.
They sexualize Black us women so much. And
I think thank God, I feel like it's changed. But I remember saying growing up, like Black movies, I used to cringe to watch them because it was just, they overly, like they highlighted just the sex. Like, why I gotta be all of that? We more than just like, like I want
or the grandma or the mammy, right? There's like no
right. Thank you.
Jezebel or mammy. No,
that's it.
Right. I needed it to be a person. Yes, I can be a sexual being, but I didn't want to just be a sexual being. And so I remember growing up with that mindset. And so now that things are changing, I applaud the movies that don't give me full nudity. I'm all for it, especially for the Black, because I don't want us to be seen as a object or objectified, because I'm over that. I'm done with that. Because you're not gonna step to me crazy.
What I really appreciate is, don't give me the full nudity and still be sexy as hell.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
power.
That's nudity ain't necessarily what did it, but if you spoke the right word, you did the right look, do that.
Yes. I'll take that. Yes, I'll take that, because
get creative. I feel like that's so cliche. Like push it further. So anyway, again, another episode, but I'm down.
Thank you for listening in. Catch us weekly on Spotify and Amazon Music. Leave a review and follow us on Instagram and Facebook to get more information and inspiration on motherhood and making things.
Have a question or a comment? Send us an email at the ProCreatives podcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
This episode is powered by The Jordans Create. The Jordans Create is a production company built by creatives and for creatives to help you execute your vision. The Jordans Create provides creative consulting and production services ranging from film and event production, editing and writing support, media editing, and creative direction. If you have a creative idea and need support, we are here for you. Send us an email at thejordanscreate@gmail.com.